Musing While Boozing.
Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I know.
Hey everyone here, brand new podcast. It's Karl again from Musing While Boozing. This episode today is fantastic. Mike and I were able to get the guys from the Spark Show on our podcast. So first off, if you haven't seen the trailer that dropped on our Instagram account or on Facebook, please go check it out. And what you'll see Brett and Paedro, both from the Spark Show. These guys are fantastic. They do a little bit of, acrobatic stuff. They do a little bit of freak show stuff. They also run a family-friendly show. We're going to have the links to everything down in the show notes, so you'll be able to find them. If you're in the Winnipeg area, you can book them for your show. But these guys were great, and we actually took some video while they were over because they did a small little mini performance with us before we actually did the podcast. Of course, one of the things there was the fact that, he performed the human blockhead trick, and that's where you take a nail and basically drive it right in your forehead. I was showing the video to my daughter Gracie. Gracie, what did you think about the video?
It was amazing.
Yeah, so did you find it gross or cool?
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It made me shiver. He did that. He was jumping on broken glass. But, check out the video and listen to the show, and you can find out exactly how someone gets into this business, sort of what brought Paedro and Brett together, a little bit of history. We find out about Pedro's worldwide travels, and I'm sure we'll have him back on the show. All in all, we found it fascinating. We were thrilled to have the guys on. We're going to sort of follow their careers, and if you certainly want to check them out, go to www.thesparkshow.com and you'll be able to book these guys at your next amazing corporate and or birthday event. Today's episode was brought to you by, of course, the official sock sponsor of Musing While Boozing, and that's radsocks.ca. Remember, if you go to radsocks.ca/podcast, you can get 20% off a year-long subscription, and these guys ship you out socks that help you step up your sock game and take you from boring and bland to cool and incredible, and you get a new pair every month. Mike and I just got the brand new pair that showed up. It was donuts on a blue base. It sounds edible. They look incredible, and they'll get you noticed right at the office. So check out radsocks.ca/podcast. Get your subscription going. Get signed up. If you want any of our incredible merch, go to www.musingwhileboozing.com. You can check out our shop. You can get hoodies, t-shirts. The stuff is incredible. Other than that, sit back, have fun, enjoy this podcast. Check out the videos from the Spark Show. Hope you have a great time, and keep on musing while boozing.
Musing While Boozing, because the best thinking happens while drinking. Hot topics over cold drinks.
Karl here from Musing While Boozing, and we just saw the probably most incredible thing we've seen in the studio so far, right, Mike?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
yeah.
We do have some special guests with us this evening. I will let them introduce themselves, and then we'll talk a little bit who they are and what we just saw here live in our quote-unquote studio. So I've said Karl and Mike, and to my immediate right we have...
I'm Paedro.
Paedro, and beside Paedro?
Brett.
Brett. And Paedro and Brett, who are you guys? What brings you by this evening?
We are professional idiots.
And based on what I just saw happen live here in front of us, and of course, check out Instagram, there'll be some videos and pictures there. I completely agree with that statement.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I am not big on calling people idiots. Mike, what'd you think?
What was that show we used to watch?
Which
They
one?
did all those years ago, right?
Oh, that's
Jackass.
Jackass.
Oh,
right?
I was thinking, wait, that's incredible. You guys probably weren't alive back then. Yeah, basically, we just had our homemade version of Jackass here. So you guys are professional idiots. Let's let our listeners in on a little secret in terms of, what do you guys... I know you got a website here, but when you say idiots, what exactly are you referring to?
I'd like to think we're pretty smart, actually.
Yeah, you better be, or else you'll be dead.
Yes.
You'll be dead idiots.
We're professional street performers, corporate performers, stage performers, circus performers, I guess is the way that you can kind of sum it all up.
Yeah.
The circus, sideshow, juggling, traditional balance acts, acrobatics, that kind of stuff. And we go around Canada and we perform at different festivals, different corporate events, just sometimes entire shows just for us.
Yeah, definitely a vintage look to what you guys are doing in terms of not a vintage look, but it's got to be a dying art. from like, is that you don't? It doesn't seem to be as popular as it way back. When every circus that came to town had a freak show.
Yeah,
and now so if we were kids 50 years ago, for Nickel would have seen something like what we just observed here, and we'll talk about what we just saw.
Nickel, how old are you, man?
Oh, okay, I said 50, 60 years ago, man.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, I guess, but maybe
it's just the community's changed.
Yeah.
In terms of freak show, it's a little less so.
Yeah.
Because Ringling and Barnum and Bailey's used to travel with a freak show everywhere they went. That's why they called it the side show. Mm-hmm. It was beside the main show. So that traveled a lot, but it's just kind of changed. I mean, we still see freak shows in America's Got Talent. We see Cirque du Soleil has changed the industry too. And
I changed my mind a lot. As I was thinking, but wait, with social media now, it's probably like any other art form. We talked about a lot on the show here, Mike, where it's easy to get exposure to, in the 80s, in the VHS tape days, if somebody didn't see you live, they didn't see you.
Yeah, well, it's definitely different too. In the 80s, it was a lot of word of mouth and VHS.
Yeah.
And so there was very few people, but you could see them any city. But now with social media, more people know about the top end talent and stuff with YouTube and America's Got Talent.
Yeah. So we just got our own little private show here, and Mike, what did we see?
Some things that made me cringe.
Yes, I found out again. I am old.
Yeah. Weak.
In the very first, you guys started because you do have a kid-friendly aspect to your show.
Family friendly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I am appreciation of all things acrobatic. Anything to do with body contortions and juggling. And you guys did a cool little juggling stunt here right in the basement in very limited space. They say they have lots of room. I don't understand how it works, but that was pretty cool. And I'm like, okay, I'm into this. My kids will like this. This is pretty safe. But what happened after that, Mike?
Big ass nails.
Yes. The BAN act.
Nose.
We watched, and you obviously, if you've listening to this, you can check it out on our Instagram page. But Brett proceeded to take a hammer and nail, and he wasn't hanging a picture. He decided to take it and basically pound it into his nasal cavity.
Yeah, my face.
Yeah, basically, he took the nail and put it straight into the center of his head. And I got no else to describe it, and my head's swimming just thinking about that. But
Little fact here, actually. When you do that, there's only a small septum that's only a few millimeters wide between your nasal cavity and your brainstem. And
you're telling it now.
A lot of people that get X-rays that do that stunt actually can work that septum down. So going from millimeters to even less.
Well, I'm glad you told me that after, not before, because I probably would have stopped you.
I just saw an episode of Bob Burgers, and according to one of the chicks on there, one of the crazy chicks, what's her name, with the beer, bunny ears.
I've only seen one episode of that show.
You only need 2 pounds of pressure for a nasal hit to basically kill you.
Oh yeah,
So,
it can knock the bone into the center of your brain.
it can.
And I used a hammer.
Yeah, and he did. He used a hammer, and you can see where their force was applied, and then just to make it clear that there was no fakery involved. Just like when I pull the nails out of my screwed up carpentry projects, he used the claws and ripped it out of his face. So that was fantastic. Your mother must be so proud.
Yeah, she is.
I imagine she would be.
Not of that trick.
No.
I've been banned from doing a few tricks.
Yes.
But it's merely, I see it more as a recommendation.
And then, Mike, what happened after that?
Out came the lot of broken glass.
This cute little suitcase. Cute little suitcase here, full of blanket, full of glass. And I wasn't sure where this was going, but where I thought he might, do the gentle, lava coal walk across it, Brett decided to...
Let's talk about the suitcase for a minute.
Let's stay focused on the suitcase.
Before we get into it, right? Is that a homemade? Is that where does it come from?
It started as a gift from another performer because I needed to carry stuff to a gig he booked me on.
Nice.
So he said, "Here's a suitcase," and then at the end he said, "You can keep it."
There you go.
And then from there, I got bored one night and had a bunch of electrical tape
Yeah.
and started decorating it. And
that'll be a trademark.
It's kind of become, it's our logo now.
Yeah, it says Sparkle on it. Of course, check out our Instagram or on the show notes. It'll be there. And the website is, of course, thesparkshow.com.
Yes.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
will have every information you need.
That's our family-friendly.
Yeah, is there a non-family friendly website?
No, I don't like to say non-family friendly because I have done blockhead on the street. I have done the glass on the street. There's nothing really like.
Yeah,
I'm not going up naked.
I mean, it depends on the family. I mean, there is the Manson family, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, let's not judge families per se.
Yes.
I grew up watching this stuff, and I turned out
Relatively
well, no,
fine.
I do this stuff. So, everything I do is family friendly. At the end of the day, we don't really. I don't curse or anything.
Yeah, no
Or
curse.
try not to if everything goes right.
Yeah.
There's no blood on the carpets here, folks. All this
no
happened. We didn't finish. So then, after you put the blanket of glass out, Mike did confirm through visual inspection this was real,
it's real
broken wine glasses.
Sharp.
And instead of doing a gentle little walk across it, we saw two events. Brett decided to jump in the air, and this guy, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's certainly in the range of about 180 to 90 pounds.
Oh, that's compliment.
Yeah, 180. You're always lighter on radio.
Yes.
He decided to get a nice jump in the air and come crashing down on the glass, as well as to make matters a little more worse. Mike, what happened next? He
Pretty much jumped on his face.
yeah, Brett just stuck his head in the glass, and his compatriot Paedro here just decided to stand on his head and pound it into the glass. And so, if my wife is watching, don't worry, these guys won't be booked for the next birthday party. Though I still think it would be a good
We
idea.
do have a birthday party.
Yes,
that's a good seller.
I wanted to bring that up, but
we don't do that.
I was gonna.
We do other dangerous stuff. Though.
But let me add first before we move on.
No, we got a lot of time in the world, man.
The first time we ever did that,
Yeah.
the stepping on the face
Mm-hmm.
on the glass, it was in front of an audience,
Yeah.
and I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
didn't bring it up, eh?
So
Told me right there on the spot.
It wasn't in the training.
And I was like, really?
Yeah, the real face. That would have been a great picture. Like,
I know if it was
Yeah.
Mike and I still do that, he'd be very excited. He'd be jumping. I wasn't being the glass. He'd be like, hey!
Yeah, sure.
Well, there's definitely a part of me that I've done a lot of stuff for the first time in front of an audience. Because who the hell wants to practice this?
Well, and although my limited understanding of this line of work would indicate that's not the right way to do things, I like your moxie. Because I'm, for every hour of performance, there should be 1,000 hours of practice. No?
I agree with you 99% of the time.
Yeah.
But when I'm nailing things into my face or staple gunning something into my back, I'm not putting in 1,000 hours of practice.
Well, there's a first time for everything, I guess.
That's a true story too. That was
Yeah.
the first. I haven't done it recently, but I used to do a stunt. It was kind of more of a con
Yeah.
that I ran. So I get paid to do this, and I would get paid by clients to go and do freak shows at different goth events and stuff, and they pay me my rate.
Yeah.
But I thought to myself, I'm like, well, how can I make more?
Yeah.
And I came up with a brilliant idea. And this is for my freak show stuff. This
Yeah.
is my solo stuff, not the Spark stuff.
Yeah. Hang in there, parents.
Yeah, hang in
These
there.
guys look like very. You'll see the pictures, but one thing we talked about before the show, and sorry to cut you off there, Brett, but I think it's pertinent here, is that, for those of your listeners that haven't had a chance to check out the social media and stuff, you're probably thinking the same thing I thought when I got the website. And it's funny you mentioned his personal friend of yours, but when I first got your indication, what flashed in my head was the dude from the X-Files that was, really hit fame 5-6 years ago, whatever.
Yeah,
The reptilian guy with the 99% of his face all green. The green lizard guy that had the horn.
Enigma is one of them.
Yeah.
He has the puzzles tattooed
Yes,
all
that's
over.
the guy.
That's
Yeah,
Enigma.
yeah.
There's also Skullboy.
Yeah, but Enigma's the one that I had, that
Darth Maul.
well, in not real life, yes. But so then I'm thinking, when this guy shows up, clean-cut dude, looks great. Any mother out there would love to introduce him to your daughter. I mean, good-looking guy.
You never know.
And see him do the acts here, I think it adds a whole another element because your brain is trying to make sense of it.
And I could almost make sense of seeing a freaky looking dude that had, the big earlobes and the piercings and whatever doing this shit.
Yeah, I actually just got engaged to a traditional Mennonite girl.
Oh, congratulations.
Her family loves me. So
Very wholesome.
Well, because
No.
No, they think you're just a dude with nails. You're gonna put up a barn. I mean, that's great. This is gonna be a.
You let me know where she lives. We'll block that IP.
Yeah, I was married to a Mennonite. You're gonna want to bring this up sometime soon, but. Yeah, no, so just to, I hate to cut you off there, but yeah, it's really interesting because the dichotomy of seeing him and seeing the act adds a whole nother layer.
Yeah.
That I think can really, he's not doing that crazy.
I'm very much, personally, I'm a fan of the very clean-cut look.
Yeah.
I like the presentation of it better. I think it's more universal, more places to go with it.
Oh, for sure.
And for me, it's not about being a freak or being an outcast. For me, it's about seeing what the human body is capable of.
Yeah.
And kind of testing that. So I have a tattoo.
Yeah.
It's on my leg somewhere.
So do we. And again, I've always been appreciation that.
Yeah.
I've been in an office environment. Some of the guys I work with do some pretty crazy shit, but I always tell the kids when they're growing up, two things. I'd rather have my son get, 2 full sleeves or do what you did today. Do what you did today. Because you don't want to limit your options.
No.
No, it's just always been my biggest thing is don't close doors you don't necessarily have to close. And unfortunately, for better or for worse, we live in an environment where first impressions mean everything.
Yeah.
It still hasn't changed.
No, it hasn't changed. It's gotten worse in some way
right?
because there's so much media exposure, right? That someone can just take a quick glance. I mean, look what dating's like these days on a website. Click, 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 click.
Yeah.
And you may find yourself,
Swipe.
or swipe or
Well,
whatever.
Your first impression is what you see.
Yes.
Your second is how you Facebook creep them.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And
Yep.
if you're in an utter disaster, either one of those is really going to limit, what you have here. So, no, it's good to see that.
Yeah, I don't really like to present it as a freak show either,
No.
personally, but yeah.
Gotta turn up the heat, Mike.
And
Our
I
South
never-
American guys are
Oh,
freezing.
geez, yeah, here a little cold down here. Yeah, it is a little bit chillier down
and it's
here.
summertime in South America.
So how long you been here, Pedro?
I arrived here in November 2014.
Okay,
so
I was gonna say.
just over 3 years.
And here from?
Brazil. São Paulo, Brazil.
I'm just what gave it away?
Well, I was wondering because I lived in Brazil for 6 months.
Really?
Yeah, Belo Horizonte.
Okay,
Yeah, es sou pequeno Portuguese. I went down there with ISEC student group in 1998. I was living with this guy at the time. And went down there with he didn't go. He was my liaison
I
back
held
here
the
in
fort
Canada.
back home.
Yeah, held the fort and sent me supplies down 3 months in.
Nice.
But I did zip around all over the country down there. So
Were you just traveling there?
I was there on behalf of the student group, facilitating exchanges with a lot of national companies back when Nortel was big and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Parmalat down there.
Okay, yeah.
And for
This one
every
looked.
job opportunity they provided
Yeah.
a Canadian student,
Okay.
I could guarantee one for Brazil.
That's only
Brazil used to back Canada. And actually, we hosted
I haven't
a
tried
guy
these
from
ones,
Argentina.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean,
Back here.
but
Nice.
exactly. We actually were he lived with the two of us for 6 months.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I have
Brazen Hall
if
is,
anybody talks to me knows I have a very, very special place in my heart for
That's
Brazil.
my dream.
So I was there, and it was
One step
'98
away. I've always
World
been one
Cup.
step
Brazil
away.
lost
You
3-1 to
gotta
France in the finals. I
Yeah,
watched the
right.
finals on the streets of Belo Horizonte with about 3 other million people. And I just remember the parties down the street and stuff, whatever. But was there for Carnival.
I should know this, but who was in the finals? was-
Brazil, France. Brazil lost 3-1.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, I remember everything.
That was even before I was born. So.
Yeah, see, I know a little. Yeah, you looked like
Yeah.
That was back when the economy was still okay in Brazil.
Yes.
So things were good. It was artificially inflated, and they tied the real was still tied to the U.S. dollar back then.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Now it's
told you it gets completely off topic, but as soon as I hear Brazil, I just go ding, 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 because
yeah.
it
So
was.
just let me get this straight. If you wore the wrong jersey that day, were you in trouble? Would that be?
Oh well, we
That'd
went
be,
to what he's talking about is when we went to games where it was Cruzeiro versus Atletico.
Right.
At Maracanã and then so the guys were selling these just the white Hanes jerseys to like t-shirts
Mm-hmm.
cover your blouse, your your sports jersey. I was wondering, why do they do that? It's so you wouldn't get in a fight when you got close to the stadium.
Or when you left.
The stadium, yeah.
okay.
And then so you
It's
put
an
it back
easy
on
If
over...
everybody's angry at the end, then
That's-
it might be...
I was explaining to him, he's like,
It's
up
not
here in
overpowered.
Canada, even though we're hockey fans, it's not like that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no,
It
that's
actually
what it was
tastes
like.
more
Doing that in
natural.
illegal fireworks, it was the most amazing thing I saw in my life.
Yeah,
So,
inside the stadium.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I was a guy with 3 fingers. He's like, I've been coming to soccer games for like my whole life. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. I can tell. You
They-
mix your own gunpowder. But
They even like shoot flares in there and everything goes red. Or
yeah, right across to the other guys on the other side that you don't like.
Yeah.
So you two, you got to get to Brazil.
I almost
Go-
lost a body part to a firework.
Oh, wow.
Well, a lot of people have. Apparently, it's not that uncommon. So, well, that's really cool. How did you two meet?
Well, when I got here,
Mm-hmm.
I already knew a little bit of fire dancing and
Mm-hmm.
fire spinning and that kind of art.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, tell them why though.
why? Okay, I was in Thailand.
Okay,
And,
that's a little bit of a turn from
Yeah.
Brazil to Thailand.
Yeah.
So you've traveled.
I traveled.
Yeah.
I went all around the world.
Mhm.
I
So
did.
you know when you go to Thailand and you go to the resorts where you get really drunk and they have all those hot guys on the beach spinning fire?
Yeah,
That's where
Yeah.
he learned.
sure.
He was one of them.
Why
Yeah.
not? My cousin's there actually right now.
Yeah.
The guy is going to be on the show. Kind of the a poker guy with her, the landlord here in Winnipeg.
Huh?
Yeah, Blake. He's going to come on the show when he gets back from Thailand. He's there right now. He decided to just pack a bag, and he had no itinerary, and he's coming back 4 months later. So
That
Yeah,
sounds awesome.
that was my plan. I was actually supposed to be there for 2 months, and then I had to fly home because my flight was already bought
yeah,
and everything. But I kept extending it to
Mhm.
the point that I couldn't anymore,
that's how I stayed in Brazil. I kept extending my flight back.
and then I missed it.
Now you're
Now on the other side of the world, you missed your flight.
Yeah.
After that, I stayed another 2 years.
Another 2 years.
Yeah.
So you missed your flight. You're like, I guess I gotta make some money. That is insane.
I used to work on a booze cruise,
Yep.
going around the islands there.
Oh
on
my God.
Koh-Phi-Phi.
Very cool.
And then at night I would just hang out at the bar, and then I got a job at the bar.
We might have to have you back here. Just have a whole episode based on your travels in Thailand. Maybe when my cousin comes back, we guys can compare notes. That is amazing. And then, so how did you? What brought you to Canada? Because let me guess. Brazil, I understand. Tropical
No.
Thailand, amazing.
I think you should take a guess.
Yeah.
Why would anyone?
Okay,
move to
so
Canada?
what was her name?
Yeah.
Because
What's her name?
you know what? We don't have tropics here, but we do grow hot women.
Yes, yes, we do.
So yeah, and she's actually a Mennonite girl too.
Of course. What? Yeah.
Winkler.
No, not that bad.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Not
okay.
that bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And now I live in Niverville, just a little.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We know the area very
Yeah.
well.
But we met, Brett and I
Mhm.
met here in Winnipeg at I actually saw him for the first time at the Winnipeg Circus Club showcase.
Okay.
They have it every year around March.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him, and then I joined the club, and then just from hanging out every Sunday during winter.
Something I think
We
my
kinda
daughter
got-
would be absolutely fascinated with is the Circus Club. I don't know what age group they start with.
All ages.
Yeah.
It's actually it started as more of a mature, like hoping to have a professional practice area, but it's evolved over the years, and now it's anywhere from ages 4 and up.
Very
like
cool.
we have, I guess the majority would be 9 to 17.
And that's right. She's 11 or well, soon to be 12. But
Yeah. So and then Paedro and I met through there. We kind of got thrown together there actually.
Yeah.
Into a show. We had a guy contact. He booked Paedro for a fire show.
Yeah.
And then he's like, but it's a
But do you walk in any glass?
no. he-
Just like, no.
So Pedro was booked for a fire show, but then they needed a barker, and I'm the talker. So
As am I.
Yeah, they booked me to bark the show, and I ended up saying like, well, I'll throw a couple pieces in there, and then we had a ragtag show. Wasn't that great compared to what we could have done
For our first show, it was
for our first show.
I
Sort of like
It was really
episodes
good.
1 through 3, Mike.
Yeah.
It's just a
Yeah.
bunch of garbage.
and I think we put that together in like a week.
yeah.
And then we got rebooked at the same place. They liked us so much. And then the following year we said, well, let's actually give them a show.
Yeah.
Like, let's give them something worthwhile.
Yeah.
And then the Spark Show was born.
Very cool. So, how... I don't know if I'm saving the question, but how the hell do you wake up in the morning and decide, you know what, today I'm gonna drive a nail into my head? Because you know, even magic, I understand to a point. Having, like you said, we had a discussion before. There's a lot of musicians, and I've had limited exposure to a couple of guys. But even like Christ, even I bought my son. My son got a magician kit for Christmas this year.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
I'm reading the book and getting him to show tricks, and even then learning that I can see how that translates to a much bigger act. Oh, that's how. I get that. You can study that. Is there that type of training for having your head mashed into glass?
No. So, well, I think there's a lot of questions there.
There is. Oh, trust me. And I held back on 50 of them, Brett, because right now I am full of questions.
All I know is that even in my most adrenaline, I've done a lot of crazy things. But
So, my answer is going to be probably a lot different than Pedro's. But for me, I grew up in a performing family.
Very cool.
I grew up around freaks. I grew up around magicians.
So who else performed in your family? What were they?
I'm actually a third generation Blue Bomber performer.
Okay.
We've had 3 generations perform at the stadium.
Hey, I've been a mascot.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, my Nana was the first one. She started the Blue Bomberettes. She was the director and the founder and the
Very cool.
That's awesome.
And then with that, they had baton twirlers, which was my mom and my aunt.
Yep.
And then Captain Blue for a while was my dad.
What years?
He only did 1 year.
Oh, okay.
And can't remember.
Was it
honestly,
like in the last 15 years?
No.
Oh.
No. It was.
Okay,
it was probably 30. It was probably 30 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because I was really older.
while
I
ago.
was Mr. Slurpee, and I used to go out there with Captain Blue and Buzz and Boomer.
Yep. And
So-
then for 2 or 3 years, I was Big Blue. They were trying out a new mascot, so I was doing stilt walking there. So I went to the pregame or the tailgate party, not pregame. Tailgate party, and I would walk around and entertain the kids on stilts and juggle footballs and take photos and stuff like that. So I grew up in a performing family.
Right.
My dad had a company that supplied a lot of them, and I always saw crazy people making a living at being crazy. And I always thought, well, that would be fun.
Better than sitting at a desk.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be a desk
I
jockey for a
agree.
while.
I agree. I hate the desk job.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, why I continue is because I get bored easily. So I want to being able to do this. If I just come up with an idea one day, then I just do it.
Yeah.
And it gets my heart pumping and adrenaline going, and
Okay.
I don't get bored here.
Still, time out. So I get the practice for juggling and stuff like that. I'm the acrobatic piece. I understand practice and learn.
Yeah.
What have you? Is there charts you look at to see where you can stick things that won't kill you?
Yeah.
Because again, I saw your 5-inch nail go into your head.
There absolutely are. There absolutely are
I
places
know you got
that
the
you
first
can
one
reference for this information.
Yeah, I
mostly,
know you're not the first one to do it.
No, mostly biology textbooks.
Yeah, Jesus.
That would be where you look. There's a lot of info in there, and I have a large stack of biology textbooks, university level textbooks at home, and you figure out what the body's possible of and what is not. And in my belief is we will never fully know what we're capable of in terms of freak show, in terms of psychology,
in terms of anything,
in terms of really anything. We'll never know what we're capable of, but by George, I want to try.
Yeah, I'm a huge believer in that as well. Is that whether it's resetting in your body what is normal or what have you, I think you can literally, people can take their bodies much farther in a lot of respects. I just had.
I won't argue that.
No.
I agree too. I believe we're capable of, and everybody's capable. There's certain limits. Everybody's capable of different things.
Shout out to Scott. Scott and Crystal. What's his last name? I'm sorry, Scott. Your last name's escaping me right now. But they're good friends over there in Charleswood. They were actually just on Dragon's Den a couple of years ago.
I did that show too.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Sweet.
They were on there. They were the ones from Winnipeg that presented the reusable feminine hygiene products. So, but anyways, he is an extreme long distance runner, and just finished his race last night. He set his personal best and ran 300 miles in 6 days. There's no the race just starts and you just catch naps when you can.
Yeah, that's something I can't do.
No.
I can't run.
But again, it's let's be honest. I believe at then that level, you're probably walking more than running. But still, it doesn't matter to travel 300 miles on foot over
that's crazy.
72 hours, I believe, or no, 144 hours is what it was. They start the clock and they end at 104 hours later, and your number of your laps is your number of laps. And so we're gonna have him on talk about just what it takes to get mentally through something like that, because I believe that again is something that
there's one guy that I've been following recently, and I'm really excited to start his training. I bought the app and everything, but it's Wim Hof. And if you've never heard of him, he was a runner and stuff, but he does like subarctic temperature, like North Pole running.
Oh,
That's tough.
Yeah,
That's tough.
he's insane, and he does it with
is the guy
no
that does like
shoes.
ice baths too and stuff?
Yeah, ice baths. He does it with
that's
no
how
shoes
I've seen
and,
some
like,
videos on
spandex
Facebook of him.
shorts.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely insane, and he like the idea of like a push-up regime with like cold shower regime, and you can train your body to adjust to those temperatures. And I mean, we live in Winnipeg. I don't know why this isn't standard practice at
Yeah.
elementary schools.
Yeah.
Well,
I used to be
so-
a fairly reasonable runner, but -10, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, I'm a fair
my
weather
lungs
runner.
are already getting cold.
I do the 10K every year with my son and
Yeah.
the Marathon Marathon, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's
Well, you got to eat at that
I'll go
temperature.
rather
you gotta
in
manage
Brazil.
your breathing, right? It's short breaths.
Well, that's
you
what
know,
Wim Hof practices and stuff,
Yeah.
and how to adjust and do that.
even with a mask, you gotta manage how you breathe. Otherwise,
Well, I Google that guy. I was talking with my oldest son about the holding your breath.
Yeah.
And the world record holding your breath over 20 minutes.
Yeah. Have you
Like-
ever seen that actually done? It's insane.
Well,
how
I've watched
how they
the quick,
compete it.
like where they do it underwater and stuff like that.
Yeah, they literally just float on top of the water,
Yeah.
and someone's like taking their pulse as they're floating.
Yeah, and they're like their pulse is literally like 30 beats like a minute. Like it's just
Yeah.
I used to be into that because living in Thailand,
Mhm.
I used to also teach scuba diving there.
Yeah.
And on my downtimes, I would just grab some fins,
Mhm.
a snorkel,
just do free diving.
and just free dive.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with some weights
Yeah.
around my waist with a belt.
Yeah, I'm working on that right now.
Mhm.
A little
I got
bit.
30
used-
hours in. I got 30.
Yeah, I used to do a bit of free diving myself at Lake of the Woods, but then now I'm doing more escapology and more stunts and stuff. So
No, like
I'm trying to get my
I
lung
feel I'm
capacity up.
exceptionally. Well, I think average is probably like 2 minutes. Like I have a pool, and I'm very excited. I can lower my heart rate really quickly. So I can do 5.5, 6 minutes if I'm just sitting in the short shallow or whatever, and that's it. And my
That's
kids are like,
pretty good.
you're gonna die.
Yeah.
no,
That's-
five is way.
That's
higher than
way
those.
yeah. But I can
Yeah.
say that but to see that to think that is 5 times that is just I don't know how they're
Most people do like 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, so you just got to be able to just chill.
I'm a smoker. 30 seconds is tough.
Yeah.
30 seconds above air.
Now,
Yeah.
30
before,
seconds jogging.
Yeah, before when I wasn't a smoker and running and all that stuff,
Oh my
I
God.
could do probably in the 5-minute range, but that was
Oh,
it was
Jesus.
pushing it. That was it was a mental game. Like
Well, it's
Yeah,
all about
yeah.
controlling your heart.
And I find like if I distract myself
Mhm.
while I'm doing that, also breathing slowly and trying
Yeah.
to concentrate on that. But if you also take your mind somewhere else,
Mhm.
forget about that. What are you doing there? Times go by faster.
Well, 95% of the most extreme, I think, things you can do with your body physically is all mental.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there are limits, but I think you can really, if you want to push your own
And you can
boundaries.
improve that.
Yes, it is. Yes, you certainly can. I'm a huge proponent. I love watching the extremes of that. What people can do is absolutely insane.
Everything I do is more mental than anything. I mean, I
Well-
take calculated risks.
Like
I
don't
feel pretty safe about how my body is going to react in certain situations, but I'm telling you, when I'm thinking of a new stunt, for instance, the first time I ever staple gunned myself,
I remember the first time I staple gunned myself too.
Yeah, deliberately or accidentally?
Oh no, it was completely unplanned.
Yeah, so mine is
feeling, right?
deliberately.
Yeah.
And I had this idea for this. I wanted people on Jackass have done it. I've seen it. I've seen so many people do it
Yeah.
at freak shows, and it was more of a curiosity of what that felt like and how can they do that. So I went out, bought myself a new staple gun and a bunch of staples and sanitized them. And then I have a practice room, a circus room filled with my collection, and there's a big mirror there, and I sat in front of the mirror holding the staple gun to myself, And at that moment, it was all mental.
Yeah.
I sat there looking at myself in the mirror thinking, what am I doing?
Well, the first time I ever saw that,
And I didn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was at a corporate event in the U.S. where they had brought on. I was with Home Depot at the time, and it was their 25th anniversary celebration. They had a bunch of different things going on. It was the same thing. It was a huge. It was Orlando Ballroom. There was 4,000 of us there. So there's little acts circulating at the time. It was a circus environment, and one guy was circulating around, and my friend grabs says, "You got to come see this." And the guy's there. He's shirtless, whatever, and he deserved to be shirtless. And he was getting the girls to staple dollar bills.
Yeah,
onto
so
his body.
that's what I do at the end of my show now.
Yeah.
And I also am very thankful that I live in Canada where dollar bills don't
exist. I'm gonna say the bill money. Because if they're trying, although they could be trying to weld on a loony, I gotta tell you, that's gotta
that trick's worth more in Canada.
That is fantastic. So, magic, you don't give up your secret, but you can answer whatever you want. But I gotta ask, for things like when you're pressing your face into the glass, because I have my own opinion on this, is that truly, I don't know what the word is, a tolerance factor? Is that just something you mentally prepare for? Because there's no, as I watch you, there's no trick to that.
No, there's no trick.
It is just a matter of
there is science behind it.
Yeah.
The same idea as if you see someone on a bed of nails getting a cinder block smashed across them.
Yeah.
There's a science behind it, which makes it more tolerable. Now, there is an element of
because I know you can push
needed.
one piece of glass in your cheek, right? It's
yeah.
Because I have done I've watched a lot of stuff on. It was a fascination of mine, and I've done the coal walk myself before at a tropical resort. So they had explained to me, I'm like, why aren't my feet on fire? Well, you can stand still, and you kept going, and there's a layer of ash, and I get it.
So there's.
Sorry if I spoiled it for anybody out there, but you can look it up. It's on YouTube.
No, I like talking about it too because it's part of my presentation. It's more of a feat, not so much of a freak thing, right? And that's how I like to present it too. Is more, these are calculated risks. There's a science behind it. There's a lot going on.
A piece of glass could sit higher than the other ones, or whatever. Like that would be the risk, so to speak.
There's definitely risks. I've had a couple friends. I had one friend tell me why he retired it is because he stepped off the glass and completely got a piece of glass halfway in his foot, and as he walked off stage, he stained the stage with his own blood. And he's like, so I'm never doing that again.
There's no blood on the carpet here, folks, so Brett's arteries are in fine shape.
I mean, so for all the stunts I do, there's a science involved. There's something involved to make it possible.
Okay.
Nobody is a Superman. That doesn't exist.
But there's a risk that you take that most people won't.
Yeah, there's definitely a risk that I take. I mean, with the human blockhead, everyone has a sinus cavity. Not everyone can do that stunt, though.
No.
And you also have to know...
How do you find out if you're the one who can do that stunt? Because I don't think Manitoba's handing out the MRIs, giving you the...
Our MRI rate here is pretty small.
I imagine stapling yourself for the first time, Brett, was hard.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
I think, honestly, I could pull that one off. I also have...
So next episode, I'll bring my staple down?
You know, dude, unfortunately, due to my Crohn's disease, I have an incredibly high pain tolerance for... it takes like 30 milligrams of morphine. So I get that.
Yes.
Pain's not a big issue with me. Pain's not my fear of sticking a nail into my head.
No. There's much more things I can go
I've given myself stitches before.
Yeah.
I don't think I could... I had a lot of trouble with that one.
And I will say, like, the first time I did it, of course,
obviously,
I had a lot of trouble.
And
there's a lot of research that goes into this.
You don't go the whole way the whole time, right? The first time?
Well, I mean, you can feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel what's going on. You do take your time, though, and I probably started with, like, something that's 1 inch big.
Yeah.
You don't go all the way.
So, when you were hammering that nail in the very first time, did you think, my God, it's life or death?
Yeah.
Don't sneeze. No, don't sneeze.
So, I mean, I knew the science. So when I started with, like, say, the 1 inch nail or 1.5 inch, I knew for a fact that that's not going to get to the back of my septum.
Yeah.
If something felt wrong, you stop.
Yeah.
And there is a certain element that you have to work it down a little bit.
Yeah.
So it might take a few attempts. I knew at worst, I might cut the inside of my face up a little bit, but dealing with 1.5 inches, it's not going to kill you unless if you trip and fall on it.
So what did your mom think the first time she saw that?
Well, I didn't tell her.
You already said he didn't tell her that. She doesn't know anything about it. We'll make sure.
I'm sorry, Mom, if you're listening to this episode, if Brett shared you, truth's coming out here.
She's seen it since.
Yeah.
And she hates it. But yeah, so you kind of build it up. You really don't do this stuff if you don't know the science behind it.
Yeah.
If you don't know what's going on and why it's possible, don't even think about
You're
doing.
probably gonna hurt yourself.
You will.
Yeah, for sure.
You will hurt yourself.
Once, yeah.
And even I have a limit with certain things I do, which I probably am capable of. I believe 100% I could do it, but it's a risk that I'm not willing to take at this point. So I have to not do it.
Yeah. I hear you.
But again, it's all science based for that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got to understand it, and that keeps me busy.
Yeah. And business is good.
Yeah, business is pretty good. We're more of a summer show for the Spark show, but
For sure.
my freak show and our corporate stuff sells a bit better. Like my freak show sells January, February, March.
Okay.
So that's a good thing. And then
And
once
nothing
that
says
season's
ringing the
over,
Christmas season like watching a guy like roll around in glass. I mean,
Yeah,
it's usually
yeah.
Ed from accounting, but now like people can
Yeah.
pay professionally to see
And
Mr.
then-
Hogan.
Yeah, and all my freak show stuff, I keep it family friendly too.
Yeah.
There is going to be kids at my next shows.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, some parents might want them to look away, but I present it as a feat.
Yeah.
And-
It, truly, I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not trying to pull off magic.
No,
It's-
well, I mean, I do magic
Right.
too, but this
Oh.
is more of a human feat. These are things you can see on America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
And then after that wraps up, we have our summer coming up,
Mhm.
where we sell the Spark Show and hopefully do some traveling with that, some more festivals. We sold out every weekend last summer, so
Fantastic. And again, for those of you that want to get on it early and book these amazing gentlemen, all the links and everything will be in the show notes. So please get to thesparkshow.com, go on our website, click
and
through-
check out Spark TV.
And Spark TV, yeah, we'll definitely. I will link to a couple of videos this week as we get
Is
ready
that
for
the
the
YouTube
show.
channel?
Yeah, that's our YouTube channel,
Yeah.
where we film more behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And then we also film ideas we have and different stunts that maybe aren't stage appropriate.
ready.
Well, not I don't want to say appropriate. That's not stage ready. Just doesn't translate to stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the one that's up there right now, I drove my car blindfolded.
That's
Most venues don't want my car on stage, so it doesn't really translate. But yeah, so we did that and building our knife wall and stuff. We have a couple more stunts coming up. We're filming another one tomorrow, which isn't really a stunt so much as stupid fun.
Yeah.
I got an electric pulse massager that I'm going to put on my arms and try to juggle while Pedro controls it. So,
Oh, I gotta say that thing my chiropractor has, then I know it's
it's the
it's
exact
gonna
same
be
thing.
a blast.
yeah, it's the exact same thing they use.
I want to try that too, and we're gonna definitely film it.
Yeah.
So
We gotta get one of those here for the show.
So is this is a full time endeavor, or
It's an attempt at it.
yeah.
When was the last time you had a real job?
A
Real? Come on.
I'm only doing that in the view of your listening
He's saying
audience.
it real in the terms of the blue collar and the white
No,
collar.
I
Yeah.
don't care. Blue collar, white
You're
collar.
labels.
you're lucky you have us, because I know personally a few performers that would be like, this is a real job. Who
Oh,
are you
dude.
to say that? No, it's not a real job though.
No.
It pays the bills. We're trying to get a good run at it.
Mhm.
We do some other things as well, like videography,
Yeah.
and that kind of came from our YouTube stuff as well. I started to take on some corporate clients and promotional stuff,
Very cool.
and so that really works well with our Spark TV and
Mhm.
stuff, and that goes hand in hand. And then Pedro does work in the film industry occasionally here in Winnipeg on the big budgets.
Oh, cool.
There's a lot of filming.
There's a
in
lot of
Winnipeg.
filming,
It's
yeah.
huge here.
He's had some bunch of
especially
trailers
right
just
now.
a couple
Yeah.
blocks away, actually,
And
down
then-
in Charleswood.
This last summer was the busiest summer
Yeah.
in many years.
Wow.
I had a couple. I have a couple of friends who work in payroll,
Okay.
and that's what they said. They paid out more labor dollars this summer
Yeah.
for film budgets
Yeah,
than
some
they've
of those
ever
went
paid.
to Pedro.
Yeah,
What was that? Was it Dog's Purpose?
Dog's Purpose?
That
were
was
you
a
in
couple
that,
years ago.
Not
few
that
years
one,
ago?
but I know a guy that was
yeah, that was
there.
2 years ago.
He was my.
I
kind
still
of
haven't seen that. I got a dog that's older, so I haven't. I'm not gonna
No,
watch
see,
that
it's a bunch of
until
dogs
later.
dying. It's very
I got,
sad.
I
I
got
have
a
a
big
dog.
time. I got
Yeah.
It's not as
South
bad as
Park.
that Molly movie, but it's still a bunch
Molly
of dogs.
and
Just
Me?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's just torture porn.
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of those
Yeah.
dog movies.
Here's
Maybe
a dog.
Pet
It's gonna
Sematary.
die.
Pet Sematary.
I like
Pet Sematary. Yeah, I did.
I like the dogs getting revenge too, myself, quite frankly.
And then myself, I actually coach kids
Excellent.
as a part-time job 3 times a week. I coach provincial boys. Last year I did it
In
a
what?
lot more.
Sorry.
Gymnastics.
That's
Oh,
very
I
cool.
didn't say that. And then
Yeah.
last year I was a team.
Not just coaching kids like maybe life coach or
Yeah,
I
life
was
coach.
certainly the hell not what we
Yeah.
saw today.
Introduction.
Christ, no wonder you look- no wonder you look so good. Like,
Yeah,
Jesus.
Freak Show 101.
Yeah, well, you
Ages 7 plus. No, I coach gymnastics. Last year I did it full time. This year only part time because of our schedule.
right.
And last year I was a Team Manitoba coach, so that was
Ooh,
fun.
that's
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's serious.
Well, we
Yeah.
love seeing people go out there and chasing their dreams. This is not our dream at all. This was literally, I mean, our podcast is just here so we get together and have a chit chat, have some beers, and have interesting people.
My dream is brewing beer.
Yeah, well, hey,
that's
yeah.
my dream.
And I will gladly come on anytime you have a new one.
Yeah, well, big thank you to Brazen Hall. They actually, we're going to quick text message to the brewmeister, and we'll refill our jugs and have something new for next week. So,
Yeah.
no, fantastic. So when, okay, I want to, back to a few, like in the learning process. You don't have to, take it as far as you want, but what's ever gone horribly wrong?
Horribly wrong.
Because I would assume, like every other job out there, you've made a mistake. Now, obviously, your mistakes come with a bit more of a price. Now, you can catch yourself, but just in theory, because it's not easy what you do. I
Nope.
would assume, which means there's a learning curve, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that learning curve a little bit? Because
I think I can safely say more has gone wrong for me than Pedro.
well, I mean, yeah.
Maybe safely isn't the best word for that, but yeah, no, I actually like that question. Most
Yeah.
performers would just avoid it,
Yeah.
but I think it's a positive. I've had lots of things go wrong.
Because in my personal life, so have I. But my, implications, though, may affect the bottom line.
Yeah,
No one's dying.
no,
And obviously you're still here, so
Yeah.
that's why I feel safe asking. It's not like,
Yes.
oh, rest in peace, Brett. No, you didn't die. So
No.
can you relate where maybe, because I've seen some awesome documentaries back, there was a small interview with Houdini where he talked about a trick that went sideways on him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I love hearing the behind the scenes where the audience might not know, even they might have known that something went wrong, so to speak. Or,
Yeah. Well, have you ever had something go wrong, Pedro?
Like caught fire.
Like I
Obviously, if
have.
you're juggling a sword and you catch it the wrong end, guess what?
Yeah.
That went.
Oh yeah, I've grabbed. I spin a fire staff.
Yeah.
And there's only enough room for my 2 hands in the middle. The rest is all fire.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've caught that thing on the wrong end many times. And there was one pose that we used to do in Thailand. It was a group thing
Yep.
that we did, and that one day was very, very windy, and
Wind and fire is a good idea.
Yeah.
and I only had that much room for my hands in the middle, and the wind was blowing the flame right on my pinky.
Oh.
But I stood there because it was a pose for the final
Yeah,
act.
pictures and yeah.
And we had like guys stacked on each other, on each other's legs, and
Mhm.
standing on our legs.
Meanwhile, your hand's on fire.
And then I just kept holding it, and then the rest of the night I had my hand in a bucket of ice. 'Cause-
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
it was
like,
a nasty.
We were in
burn.
Jamaica and there was a fire show going on and we were sitting in the front row of it was a really nice resort. Like it wasn't one of those cheap shows. It was at a 6-star place.
Nice.
And amazing show. But again, the wind just came gusted up and I watched
You
him
could
and
see
he
the
adjusted
flames, yeah.
and he grabbed the baton a little higher and he saw him try to readjust
Yeah.
and then it fell and hit and then the coffee table went up in flames.
Oh.
So it was rather interesting because
Yeah.
I don't think someone would fight. It was like a nylon coffee table. And I'm like, oh, well, that was...
And
Yeah.
the wind is a big factor when Brett's doing his fire breathing act.
Yeah.
So
Because you could burn your...
I'll get to that. That is one of the stunts that went wrong. For
Oh.
me. So for me, I mean, most of my accidents all happen in practice.
Yeah.
Because I'm never going to put something on stage that isn't 100% ready.
Well, you did say you like to try things on stage.
Well, yeah, but nothing's going to go wrong. Those are ones that I'm not going to set the place on fire.
Right.
It might just sting me a little more.
Like you said, your suitcase does have burn marks on it, so I'm believing everything you're saying right now, Brett.
I mean, that suitcase has been everywhere. It's been over. Yeah, that suitcase has seen a lot.
Yeah.
But with my accidents, I have a laundry list of them.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I'm okay with sharing them. Other performers aren't.
What's one that caught your attention?
I mean, I'll just do a quick list, and you can pick your
favorite.
favorite.
Oh shit amount, where you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll do a quick list, and you can
good.
pick your favorite.
Okay, I'm excited.
I put a sword into my leg.
Oh shit. Those sentences, that right there, that sentence is like, oh, I put a sword through my, like, that hasn't been said in my family since probably the 1600s.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna rolling it back.
I burnt half my hand with 3rd-degree burns. Then I burnt part of my face off doing fire breathing.
Was that a wind thing?
I've dislocated 2 vertebrae. I think those are the most serious ones.
Yeah, I would. So.
Is that from somebody jumping on you, or is that
some idiot trying to crush your face?
No.
You guys need some alone time.
Yeah. No, so yeah, those are the serious ones. I mean, I have little injuries here and there.
How did you do the vertebrae? Because what were you attempting at that time?
So
were you just jumping the hell away from a fireball?
That one was probably the most excruciating injury I had, and probably one of the most anticlimactic ones too. So I was training. I was doing an audition video for training in Montreal. Okay. And I had a partner. I did partner acrobatics for a number of years, and performed it professionally with my now fiance. And we were doing one of the stunts that's required, where I was in a handstand, and then I had to come down.
This was your big Cirque moment.
Well, not Cirque, a different company in Montreal, but the teacher was a choreographer for Circus Soleil. And I was supposed to come down one way, and my partner ended up pushing me the other way, and I landed flat back on a hard floor and popped 2 vertebrae out.
That would do it.
So that was pretty excruciating.
Once you get my age, that just happens from getting up in the morning. But that's, I hear you.
Yeah. So that was probably the most excruciating. But again, that was in more of a practice setting. Same with the fire breathing, the sword in my leg. That was all in a practice setting.
Crazy.
And I think, for me, I think part of the importance of this too is the difference between a professional performer and a hobbyist too is who's prepared for those things. Yeah. If I wasn't prepared for those, if I didn't have the training I had, all of those would have gone worse. Yeah. Every single one of them. I mean, I've had my whole face set on fire, but we were prepared. It was a new trick I was trying. Yeah. I practiced it with water and all that jazz, and then it came down to fuel. It went wrong. We were prepared. Yeah, I looked like I had lipstick on. That was the worst that happened.
Mustache needed some work, but you were good to go.
Yeah, my mustache was fine. It was literally just a bit of red on my lip. If we were not prepared for that, though, it would have gone real south real fast. I would have lost my face.
It sounds like a lot of research had to go into that. It's not
just this is not something to get drunk and do in your backyard. It is extremely dangerous.
Which is usually how our things happen.
I'm gonna do a double flip off the balcony. No shoes.
Okay, what are you gonna do when it doesn't work? We'll try it again. We'll worry about that later. That's not the same.
But again, it all comes down to calculated risks. I mean, Pedro's kind of a bit into this. I'm more of the stunt idiocy. Although Pedro certainly has a share in our show finale. He balances on top of a flaming bridge.
Oh, Jesus. Sure, why not? Yeah, he saves the good stuff for you at the end. That's good. I like it.
Yeah. So we definitely have that. But again, it's all calculated risks and minimizing it and making sure everything goes right.
Very cool.
And there's a lot of practice behind it too. We started practicing really hard last winter. And then when we were touring during summer, then we were on top of the game, and it was just getting better and better. Every show we would do, you would feel more natural. And
see, it's funny. I think calculated risk. I don't think a lot of people understand that.
No, they don't.
What does that mean? Like,
What does calculated risk mean?
Well, I think a lot of kids, because they see it on video and it's Instamatic, they think they can. That's why there's so many fail videos out there, because kids think they can just jump up and do anything.
Yeah, I mean, a good one that I always compare it to is the backyard wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, you see countless videos of people wrapping a bat in barbed wire and then just hitting each other with it.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know from experience. That's something I haven't done.
I've always avoided that.
Yeah. I try not to do that.
Like I say, I'm a runner.
Yeah. So calculated risks for me is doing all the research necessary to do it. So let's take a human blockhead, for instance, which I did earlier here. I know the science behind it.
Yeah.
I know what can go wrong. I know what I need to do to make it go right. I have to think of every possible outcome that could happen, and I have to be okay with all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's truly. I mean, that's how, in a purely business environment, that's how I do a lot of training that way and stuff. I'm talking to people. It's not, don't plan for things to go right. When things go right, you have nothing to worry about. Always plan for things to go right. If there needs a wash or anything too, it's just this way and to the, hang some rights around the corner. It's never the successes you have to worry about. It's always when things go.
Yeah, and I mean, even on stage, we've had things go wrong. But they would never notice.
No.
Nobody noticed. They come up after and they're like, man, that was great. I'm like, oh, that was a screw up. I'm like, well, that was my favorite part. I'm like, well, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, people know what to expect. And as long as people have never seen it before, whether it's that or it's something as simple as, I do training on public speaking. And people get so nervous. And I say, listen, the person that's listening to you and watching you, has no idea what's going to happen. This Saturday morning, I had to stand in front of 350 people I don't know and deliver some material, whatever.
Yep.
And my wife was always like, I wish I could do that. I'm like, you could, because you're always worried about them judging you. People can't judge what they don't know.
Yeah.
You go up there, act like you know what you're talking about. As far as they're concerned, people think you know what you're talking about.
Yep.
That's truly what it is. So
yeah, I speak better in front of more people.
Yeah. Yeah,
sure.
I am much better in a group than I am in one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I feed off the audience a lot. I like to interact with them.
Yeah.
I like to give the audience a hard time too.
Sounds like I should be taking his training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Let's
not at all.
Let's get him now. I got a few.
Talk to me 20 years ago, dude. Those days are behind me. Not that they were ever in front of me. Well, that's fantastic. I am absolutely amazed. But what I love it. I love people getting out there and finding a way to make a living.
Follow their dreams.
Well, I don't dreams or whatever. I just find a living doing something a little bit more alternative, a little bit, showing.
Well, for me, it's about the creativity and the art. And, I mean, it may not seem like there's art behind it, but to me, there's absolutely is.
I totally disagree. I think there's
dude, you got two rookies standing right here. Yeah. The 15 seconds we saw, there was a ton of art. You guys are fantastic.
Great. No, we absolutely love what we do.
Great. And one of our best shows, they happen when something goes wrong, but then we act fast.
Yes.
Oh, man.
You recover.
When we recover, we act fast and things just flow that way.
Well, you do get jacked up from correcting a mistake when you catch something. Yeah. I've done that where it's like, oh wow, and people don't know, and you're like, and you're looking there going, you guys have no idea what you just missed.
He's talking about one specific moment.
Well, what was it?
Which was really funny.
Okay, well, we'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, I'm sure insurance wouldn't.
Okay, now you piqued my interest.
That's the way they always are, though. Come on.
So one of our finales, we have a bridge we build called the Da Vinci's Bridge. We take the show and put it up on another level, literally. And it's a bridge we build with just dowels and 2x4s. And then we both can stand on it. It can maintain our weight. Paedro does a finale where we light the entire thing on fire. And then he balances on rollable and juggles fire. But before that, we do partner passing with fire.
Right.
And at one show, I think it was probably me, I dropped one of the fire torches. Now, this was an outdoor show.
Yeah.
We normally have a flawless record.
Yeah, you're on a lake of gasoline.
Yeah, no, not quite. But I did drop a fire torch, which happens.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but we had an insane amount of security there. And as soon as I drop it, I start to climb off the bridge to go get it, and a security guard runs on stage and grabs the club. and hands it up to me. And then he turns around and runs away. This is me personally. I just thought it'd be funny to throw it on the ground again. So I threw it on the ground. He comes back up. This happened like 5 times. And the audience was just roaring with laughter.
Oh, sorry.
Just because, I mean, it was cement ground.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to
Yeah.
happen. It's falling.
Either he's
3
just going to
feet out of
stop
my
playing
hand.
with you, or you're.
He's going to stop playing with me. And
Yeah.
So, I mean, things like that. And I honestly just,
Where was this?
I'm not going to say.
Oh, okay. Jay, never hurts to ask.
Undisclosed.
Never hurts
location.
to ask.
But it was actually one of our favorite shows. The
Very
audience, we normally try to stick around after and do photos, or we were giving out coloring pages at that one.
Yeah.
And we ended up staying like over an hour after, before we even got a chance to clean up, of just doing photos and autographs. And like,
Nice.
Yeah.
autographs for us is something different.
Yeah.
It means a lot to us.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, they're worthless.
Yeah. Buy safe. No, dude, you don't know. You can do a lot of things with the body.
Nobody is selling
Last time
their
I checked, though,
autographs.
you cannot tell the future. There may be a time.
Well, maybe it comes a time, but for us, I mean, we're just beside ourselves in excitement when we have a bunch of kids running up wanting photos and autographs and wanting our coloring page. Like, that's what makes it worth it to me.
Yeah.
There's 2 reasons. Is I want to see what the human body's capable of, and I want to share those moments with the audience. And that show, it was one of our best shows ever. And
you guys just killed
we
it.
spent so much time with people after, and it was just, I think the band that was on after us was getting really annoyed because we were kind of taking up a bit of their stage time there.
Very cool.
But yeah, it was just an amazing moment, sharing it with the kids and the families there, and having those inside jokes. And
Having someone who's not related to at all, has no dog in the fight, whatever, to come up and just want to express recognition. We had our tiny moment a week and a half ago. I was showing Micah there where I'm making Christmas cookies with the wife, Christmas bacon on a Sunday, and my phone's blowing up or whatever because a new episode's going out every Sunday. And then that night, I'm reading. She's like, "What are you reading?" And I'm like, "Look," and I just threw the phone down. And it's some I should look it up because the dude's obviously is listening. Some doctor, whatever, is nuts. He said, just doing my research on whales here in my kitchen, enjoying my evening, drinking, and he lists whatever beer he's having, and listening to the guys at Musing While Boozing. And it's so funny. And it's just like, I'm like, oh, there's no connection. This is just some one person out there randomly. We made their evening, and he's like, "Oh, so you guys are so funny." I forget who we had on that show, but they were laughing at what was going on. I'm just
It's pretty cool feeling.
It's just really funny. It's like, who are we? And
We're nobody.
and
but
yes, we expect some friends and family to, gratuitously, haha, whatever, and that's what the Sol was about, and we thought it'd be 3 episodes and whatever. But just to your point of saying that recognition and what you guys do is way more to the extreme. So I get it. It's really cool.
So have you guys done any now? Like, you've told me both that you have Mennonite partners.
yeah, I don't know what it is, but Mennonites seem to be attracted to the
To
Bring
the
performers
show.
and
Bring the boy home that daddy's gonna hate. And make him exotic too. So guess what you are? Not Mennonite.
No, I'm the worst Mennonite boyfriend. I worked at a gay club for a while.
Oh,
Freak show performer.
Jesus! Yeah, you're headed to.
Sorry, future mama-in-law, if you're listeing to this.
Yeah.
So have you ever worked at any of the Bible camps? Any of the
Kind of. I worked for.
Because I would assume these shows would be.
I don't know. Maybe good.
No,
I think
okay. So
up their alley. I don't really know a lot about it, but
yeah, I mean the Spark Show. I guess the Spark Show is definitely appropriate.
Oh yeah.
There would be no problem with that. That's
No.
completely family friendly for everybody. I mean, maybe there's an innuendo here and there, but it's for the parents, and it's funny. You see that stuff. The Freak Show, I don't think I'm going to get booked for any Bible camps anytime soon. I did teach. Teach for a Christian values company, doing some summer camps and stuff, and they know everything, and I even performed at some of them, and they're
like my kid went to Winkler Bible Camp.
Oh yeah,
and we don't really practice religion here. We told him to say things that were appropriate to make him fit in, but
yeah, I went to Bible camp.
He had the cheat sheets, what you're saying.
But he went there for paintball,
and
hockey.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it was amazing. He had a great time.
Well, good luck
sure.
trying to find a summer camp because they've all died off. That isn't religious in Manitoba, especially.
We were looking for stuff for the kids last year, and there really is only.
I actually don't
Yeah,
have a problem with
unfortunately,
it.
Yeah, there used to be, you go to like a regular summer camp, like those 80s summer camp movies that we all grew up wanting to go.
Yeah. I remember when I was in elementary school, we did summer camps for the older grades. And then one year it just got canceled, and everyone's like, well, why are they canceled? Well, they got too Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But essentially,
So,
yeah, and that's
It's funny because, like...
they own the
kid-
camp business. What
they-
limited business there
But
is.
what he told me is they would have prayer 4 times a day
Yeah.
for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Nothing.
my wife
Yeah.
volunteered at Camp Arness, which is a non-denominational Christian camp.
I had
or
no
whatever.
problem with him
And
being
my oldest son
exposed to
went,
that,
and they
like-
had fun. But again, and we are same thing, not practicing anything.
Well,
I was.
I'm not Christian myself either,
Yeah.
but the
I was an
phrase that
altar
comes
boy
to
back
mind
in the
is,
day, but
love thy neighbor, right?
Yes.
well,
You know what? For
You
me,
guys, if you can't put up with each other, something's wrong.
religion for me is not about the type of religion; it's about the values that they're trying to teach.
Well,
and
it's
every religion teaches.
we talked about this at work today
values.
too. Same thing. It's like if you want to believe that some guy walked across water, more power to you.
I'm trying to do that. That's
I want to
Yeah,
believe that.
and you're probably as close as I can see that happening. But the point being is that if a person believes that, but then lives the values that imaginary thing professed, it makes them a better person. More power to it. Then the religion's real in their mind. If someone lives their lives according to the Ten Commandments, guess what?
Are you talking about the new X-Files?
No, I haven't been there
Okay.
yet.
It's about to start, right?
Oh yeah, I know it's
I heard
coming.
there's an episode drop
Yes.
this week, I think.
Oh God, I hope so. Can't wait. But no, that was what we talked about, was the fact that, people said we were anti-religion. No, I'm anti-crazy. But if you want to live your life in a good vein, go to it. More power to you. I don't care if you live in the old spaghetti, if you believe to the spaghetti monster, or
Pass
it's
the fire,
Jesus, or yeah, exactly. If the values it professes makes you a better person, then go nuts. I believe in good people. I just don't want somebody to put all their chips on black when it involves them believing that, is there an afterlife? Maybe not. But you know what? If you're living in this life according to some values written out that are half-assed decent, then that's just like anybody's motto or creed or whatever. Go nuts. I don't care. I'm not anti-people. I got very offended.
You got very offended. Yes.
I don't know. Somebody took me the wrong way. I'm like, no, I'm not anti-everything. I got into a Twitter battle with someone about.
Oh, yeah.
Or was it
I
Facebook?
used to come to those.
Yeah.
Well, I tried.
Every
not.
once in a while, you want to be a dick.
Okay, here's the story. I'll cut this way down. In the 70s, I forget her name. There's a girl that's semi-famous in the U.S. She's the only survivor of an AC-47 plane crash that crashed in Brazil, where 197 people went down. The plane broke up in midair. She fell
I
out.
still don't know where
Her
you got
seat
this.
fell out. She fell down into
My
Bahia
favorite beer store.
and survived 10,000 feet. Actually, stood in a chair, came down, came through the canopy, the trees and stuff. Broken collarbone, broken leg, broken whatever, but actually survived.
Yeah.
Had to walk 9 days out of the jungle, was saved, moved on, lived a happy life after
I don't even
that.
know where that's
And
from.
someone said, wow,
Vancouver?
God must have really loved her. And I said, God
So,
must have really loved her.
I've never seen
And God
that.
must have really
That's,
hated the other 197 people on the plane.
Oh, really?
Granted,
Yeah.
coming.
And some lady said,
Really?
well, no, that means God
Oh,
wanted
that's
those
a beer
people
store in the
and
city.
that he brought them up to his kingdom.
No, 'cause everything in Charles-
So I said, God loved them.
Yeah, no.
He hated her and made her walk 9 days through the
Granted,
jungle in pain.
coming up.
And they're like, no, you
it's
don't
all
understand. I'm
cold.
like, no, I don't understand. Explain it to me. Which
That's
one
the
does
other
God
thing.
love?
The only
Yeah.
thing we have
Yeah,
to
and
do
then
is
so that
the
was
murder
that
rate,
turned into this
like,
big, and I actually made some comments
whatever
that
they
were
call that.
liked
The
by
dirty
like
Dale.
thousands of people on the stupid chain in Facebook.
I live-
And it was just
My
because
first
I got
meeting,
into
I
it with this
moved in
lady, and
four
I
buddies, and we were
Yeah,
neighbors.
that's
with the
my-
Dirty Dale.
that's my Twitter. It doesn't involve these guys, but you're back.
That must be from Porter J, the Dirty
The Dirty
Dale.
Dale.
So we were.
I live right by it.
That was my first place I moved out to. Not the Dirty Dale itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I almost lived
Yeah.
there.
I live a 3-minute walk just south of there.
Oh yeah, I lived in the condos
Yeah.
right behind the ice rink there.
We recorded
the owner
episode
there,
3,
right?
and then went to a party afterwards there, and then Mike broke his collarbone riding his bike home from there. That's how it was shaped using.
Yeah, that sounds about right for the Dirty Dale.
I'm still healing. But,
Oh, the bar was fine. It was him.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was just a rip. Oh, that's a whole story in itself. But
Very cool.
yeah, remember they brought the bricks from Sociables.
Oh, from
bar
Portage.
in
Oh, Portage. That's
They
right.
built the wall They're the owner built the wall for.
It was
the
the same
bricks.
owner owned the Portage Hotel that owns the Dale Hotel, and then he brought some stuff over, the suit of armor and a bunch of stuff from Portage in there. So before the show started, you did come in. You were all jacked up. Your arms are big. I knew it wasn't excited for being on the show. So, and this episode is going to drop after this quote-unquote event, so to speak, but it never hurts to name drop. So you had shared some news with us. Our viewers would love to hear your little bit of tidbit that, unfortunately, not going to be able to tune this time, but you never know what's going to happen in the future. So, what was your news there, Brad?
I've started working with Dean Gunnarsson.
And we'll put a link to Dean Gunnarsson in the show for those few of you that don't know who he is, but maybe some of our international audience isn't as familiar, so we'll put that out there. But Dean is who?
He's Ripley's, believe it or not, has labeled him as the most dangerous escape artist in the world.
Yes. It's fantastic.
And I started, just by sheer chance, I was supposed to just do one event with him as a stage assistant.
Yeah.
And
so you were the hot chick in the bikini that
I
helps
was that girl from Wheel of Fortune.
I was looking at you going, I can see that.
So then he asked me to come back on Sunday, and I'm hoping to work with him more. And
so this Sunday you're doing a show out in
Portage.
Portage Prairie, so I'm telling
Portage Prairie.
I'll give my parents a call tomorrow, and maybe they can go check it out.
I don't have any more details.
But you know what?
Portage
Dean Gunnarsson, Portage shouldn't be hard to figure out. Not a big town. Mike and I both grew up there.
I can figure it out.
And there's a chance I might be doing my own piece in that show which I'm excited about. And then I have a couple other shows coming up too. Is now the time to plug that, or wait?
Oh no, please,
plug it now.
Well, I mean, we can wrap things up in just over an hour here, so that's perfectly fine with us.
That sounds.
I have no idea.
We should probably try and publish this right away because.
Well, we won't get it before Sunday. It's next week. We'll put out the week.
On Sunday. What time on Sunday?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. This is going to be
I have other shows.
Yeah, no. So, what do you guys have coming up? Because we'd love to hear about it, and I'll get you to shoot me the dates too, and we'll put them in the notes.
Yeah. The Spark Show has no public shows
because you're private bookings, right?
Right now we're private bookings.
Fantastic.
Public shows are more of a summer thing because we're outdoors festivals and stuff, so we're doing private bookings. But we do have some dates available left if you want to book us.
Yeah, we'll have the contact information on
late Christmas parties, I guess. We got a full adult corporate show.
Ukrainian Christmas this weekend too. Geez, we're missing that.
Yeah, and I promise you, we will torture your boss on stage.
I love it.
In front of everybody.
Yes.
Hopefully, I know some of my staff does listen to this show, so guys, don't get any ideas. We're not going to have this guy come up and
we will give you leverage. We will give you leverage for the following Monday.
Fantastic.
But I have solo shows coming up. Let me think what one's first. February 10th at the Windsor Hotel.
Nice.
There's a Goths and Freaks event.
Nice.
I believe there's also a Goths and Freaks dress code in effect.
Oh, where's that?
The Windsor. Windsor.
Yeah, my son.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
That's showing up to that. So.
Yeah. I've performed for them before, and it's a great time, so they've asked me back. There was 2 years ago, I think I performed for them.
Nice.
And then the other one that I got the confirmation like today for it.
Yeah.
I still have to send out the
Big day
invoice
today.
Oh,
and contract.
Yeah.
Is the Winnipeg Tattoo Show at the Convention Center.
Yes. Yep. Familiar?
That's coming up February 22nd, 3rd, 4th, or 20,
people that got their tattoos
23rd,
there.
24th, 25th.
Crazy.
I'm on the Sunday.
Very cool.
I know that much. I'm performing there on the Sunday at the Convention Center.
Excellent.
That sounds awesome.
I think that's about it. And then we're always posting more stuff on our YouTube, so you don't have to come to us. We'll come to you.
Fantastic.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
So look us up. We go under Spark Street Show. And we've got a couple stunts coming up. We've got some fun stuff. Our approach to that is it's almost very behind the scenes-y.
Like it.
So we have a couple of our busy days on there and what happens, and then how to build some of the props we use.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, that's awesome. And we'll put all those dates again in the show notes. Mike, anything to wrap up? No?
I'm just kind of flabbergasted.
Mike's mind is blown, folks. There's nothing else to say.
Right.
Well,
You know me.
Yeah.
This is my kind of thing.
Yeah. This is fantastic. Well, gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Best of luck. We'll be keeping an eye on you on social media. Everybody will tweet out the videos we took today, the pictures we took today. You'll have seen them already, but they're out there. Please check out, again, thesparkshow.com These guys are amazing. Two good-looking, young, strapping guys that are willing to take
Well, at
their
least
bodies.
one of us.
Take their body. Well,
I'm not telling you which one, though.
Brett's not that bad either. I know Wendy would really like to meet you. But she has this thing for Latin guys. Sorry, girl. I know.
That happened last show, actually.
Yeah,
That was,
I can
I would
imagine.
figure a lot of guys.
I can imagine
It was-
he gets the attention in
Yeah.
both ways. I don't
It was-
get
Yeah,
me wrong.
I wouldn't.
It was really funny. There was one girl at the last corporate show we
Yeah.
did that was just... She was all about Paedro.
Oh, I can imagine.
Oh,
She was very vocal about it, too.
Yeah.
In the middle of the show.
Just,
Is that before or after Pedro was on
Yeah.
fire?
While I have 3 knives in my hands
Yes.
and I'm balancing on a rollerbola.
Yeah.
You're trying to send out a phone number. Too late, though. You're hooked up.
He's
What-
taken, though, ladies. Sorry.
Yeah,
was it the
sorry.
spandex or?
No,
Well-
we said our show was child-friendly.
Yeah. Guys, again, thanks for coming by. You guys definitely welcome back anytime. You got something coming up, let us
Cheers.
know.
Thanks for having us.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike.
Thank you.
Everybody out there, keep musing while boozing.
This has been an MK Cast production.
Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I know. I'm thinking if I take another drink of whiskey, I'm gonna wake up on the floor. Here's what I'm thinking. Oh, and here's what I know. I'm thinking it's a damn good day when you're drunk by noon and passed out by 4. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I know. I'm thinking if I take another shot of Jaeger, my old lady's gonna walk right out there. Here's what I'm drinking. Oh, here's what I smoke. I got a bottle, Jim Beam, 10 beers, cigarettes, and a down bag of Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I know. I'm thinking there's nothing like a bar full of booze, bronze beer, and a thick cloud of smoke. Oh, here's what I'm thinking, and here's what I know. I'm thinking this chick next to me chugging beers at the bar's gonna put on a show. Yeah. Well, here's to the troops that are only 18. They can die for the country, but they can't buy a drink. And here's to the soldiers that are overseas. For the rest of your life, you should be drinking for free. Oh, well, here's to the chicks that won't make you beg. They'll do you all night, but won't sleep in your bed. Yeah, here's to the hangover I got right now. Gonna drink it away with some 7 and Crown. Here's to the blue-collar working man. Raise your finger in the air if you don't give a damn. Here's to the strippers getting college degrees. Gonna donate $1, education's for free.